Harmony visited and gave donation to poor people in Kampong Spui province. Tangkrit, one of communes of Kampong Spui province, Sumrang Tong district, is about 63 kilometers from Phnom Penh capital. Most of the residents living in Tangkrit commune do the farming to earn their livings. This year, they were also affected by the floodings, as those victims hit in the district of the flood-affected provinces nationwide. Not just by the flood, the farmers' rice fields were even hit by drought in the past year, resulting in low yield of rice harvest and facing with living difficulties. Being in part of his royal humanitarian mission to help share the burden shouldered by the poor people, His Majesty Norodom Sihamoni, King of Cambodia, Saturday last week visited and distributed donation to 580 poor farmer families and flood victims from 5 villages of Samrang Tong district, some 50 kilometers south from Phnom Penh capital. Speaking on the occasion, His Majesty the King conveyed warm greeting from Her Majesty Queen Mother, Norodom Munini Sihanouk, especially to the flood victims. Besides, the Cambodian monarch highly appreciated the royal government and the Cambodian Red Cross, as well as local authorities at all levels, for having taken urgent and effective measures in saving the victims of disaster, particularly those of recent flooding. Each family received 50 kilograms of rice, a kit including a box of instant noodles and canned fishes, a sarong, a scarf, a mosquito net, a blanket, a plastic tent, a t-shirt, and some amount of cash. Asia and Japan to bolster cooperation on economy, disaster relief, and security. Asian member countries and Japan came to an agreement on pledging of boosting cooperation in the fields of trade and economy, disaster relief and rescue, as well as security, in addition to touching upon regional and global issues during the commemorative summit to mark the 40th anniversary of Asian-Japan relations held Saturday last week. In the joint statement released after the summit, Asia and Japan also underlined the importance of resolving dispute over maritime security and safety through peaceful means and in keeping with the universal recognition of the principle of international law, and agreed to enhance cooperation in ensuring the freedom of overflight and civil aviation safety. Both Asia and Japan not only recognize the need to further strengthen regional cooperation framework for peace, stability and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific region, but also called for the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula through peaceful dialogue, added the statement. Other issues such as global economy, humanitarian assistance and climate change were included in the statement, named hand in hand, facing regional and global challenges as well. In addition, Japan will provide 2 trillion Japanese yen in official development assistance (ODA) to Asian countries over 5 years for the 2 pillars of enhancing connectivity and narrowing the development gap, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan announced at the end of the 40th Asian-Japan Commemorative Summit. For enhancing connectivity, Japan will introduce high-quality and resilient infrastructure mobilizing Japan's expertise and technologies, including emphasizing safety measures, disaster management, environment and maintenance, and promote assistance for transportation infrastructure, such as east-west and southern corridors, railways, ports and airports, as well as harmonized system, it pointed out. For narrowing the development gap, assistance to Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Vietnam countries will be promoted through the steady implementation of Tokyo Strategy 2012 for Mekong Japan cooperation. It said, adding that the 4 countries will get in total 200 billion Japanese yen. Looking ahead to Asian integration in 2015 and beyond, Japan will contribute $100 million to the Japan-Asian Integration Fund and 4 agendas laid out in the medium to long-term Asian-Japan vision, which includes 4 priorities areas: partners for peace and security, partners for prosperity, partners for quality of life, and heart-to-heart partners. What should be taken as the fruitful result from the 40th Asian-Japan Commemorative Summit is that ASEAN and Japan reaffirmed to enhance commitment for the maintenance of peace, security, and stability, committed to further enhancing comprehensive economic partnership, committed to promoting human resources development and overcoming social, economic, and environmental issues. And it will also continue to strengthen mutual trust, heart-to-heart understanding, as well as nurture friendship, said Japanese Prime Minister His Excellency Shinzo Abe at a joint press briefing. The 5th Mekong-Japan Summit reviewed Tokyo strategy. Leaders from the countries of the Greater Mekong sub-region, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Myanmar and Thailand included, and Japan met in the 5th Mekong-Japan Summit held in Tokyo on Saturday, the 14th of December, to review the implementation of the Tokyo Strategy for Mekong-Japan Cooperation and discuss bilateral cooperation. The leaders did restate their commitment to increasing regional connectivity, especially through the development of the economic corridors, upgrading of business environment, development of regional supply chains, and acceleration of public-private partnership. They also agreed to boost healthcare cooperation, especially preventive medicine, infectious disease prevention, and technological application, with their reaffirmation of the determination to give a boost to the bilateral cooperation for prosperity, stability, and sustainable development of the Mekong region. The leaders highlighted the importance of sustainable management and development of water resources and related resources of the Mekong River. Asian leaders welcomed Japan's continued commitment to supporting the regional countries to cope with the climate changes and risks caused by natural disasters. During the summit, the leaders noted with the deep satisfaction that the relationship and cooperation between the Mekong region countries and Japan have been developing substantially based on Tokyo Strategy 2012 for Mekong-Japan cooperation, adopted at the 4th Mekong-Japan Summit last year, which includes 3 pillars to be implemented by 2015. The leaders of the Mekong region countries welcome not just the visit paid by Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to all the Mekong region countries this year, but the steadfast implementation of assistance by 600 billion Japanese yens in ODA from the fiscal year 2013. The leaders of the Mekong countries recognize the progress on infrastructure and institutional connectivity development on East-West Economic Corridor and Southern Economic Corridor undertaken by the Mekong countries and appreciated Japan's cooperation in development of these corridors, and also expressed expectation on future assistance of Japan for these economic corridors. The leaders reaffirmed the importance of fulfilling the missing links along the main economic corridors. At the same time, they also recognized the necessity of multi-phased urban area development along the economic corridors. The leaders of the Mekong region countries noted the progress in custom cooperation for trade facilitation through custom modernization supported by Japan in Mekong region countries and other Asian countries, including the introduction of automated custom clearance system as a significant contribution to enhance institutional connectivity in Mekong region. The leaders reaffirmed the importance of promotion of Asian Smart Network Initiative for the solution of social issues, including environment issues, by developing and utilizing ICT infrastructure and applications. The leader of Japan announced that Japan will continue to support Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam development and the Cambodian-Lao-Vietnam development triangle area, and the leaders of Mekong region countries welcomed the announcement. The leaders reaffirmed the continued cooperation in the utilizing of ICT for environmental issues and disaster risk reduction. They welcomed the progress of disaster risk reduction cooperation between Japan and ASEAN, and Japan's support for floodwater, typhoon, and cyclone damage in Mekong region and disaster prevention agencies in each country. The leaders reiterated their commitment to support Myanmar's ongoing efforts to address various issues, including democratization, enhancements of the rule of law, economic reform, national reconciliation, and development cooperation. They appreciated Japan's support for Myanmar's effort by combining the public and private sector's strengths. In this regard, the leaders of the Mekong region countries welcomed Japan's announcement of the implementation of 91 billion Japanese yen in ODA for Myanmar by the end of fiscal year 2013. The leaders expressed confidence and support to Myanmar's leadership as the chair of ASEAN in 2014 and confirmed that the 6th Mekong-Japan Summit will be held on the occasion of the multilateral meeting in 2014 on a convenient date by the co-chairs of Myanmar and Japan. At the invitation of his Japanese counterpart, Shinzo Abe, and of attending the 40th ASEAN-Japan Commemorative Summit and the 5th Mekong-Japan Summit, Prime Minister Samdech Akem Mahasanapadej Hun Sen and his spouse Samdech Kete Pratmadit Bonrani Hun Sen, as well as senior delegation of the royal government of Cambodia on Sunday, started their 2-day official visit in Tokyo, Japan. Prime Minister Samdech Hun Sen and his Japanese counterpart, His Excellency Shinzo Abe, confirmed the agreement at a joint press conference this evening in Tokyo at the end of their bilateral meeting held on the sidelines of 2 summits. Japan will continue to provide more support for the development of Cambodia, affirmed His Excellency Shinzo Abe, expressing his strong hope that Cambodia-Japan direct flight would be established soon. In response to Prime Minister Samdech Hun Sen's request for Japan's support to the electoral reform in Cambodia during His Excellency Shinzo Abe's recent visit to Cambodia, Japanese expert would be shortly dispatched to the country for a study visit on this matter, added His Excellency Shinzo Abe. Prime Minister Samdech Hun Sen expressed his gratitude to the government and people of Japan for their development assistance to Cambodia, stressing that Japan is one of the countries that established their diplomatic tie with Cambodia. His Excellency Shinzo Abe's visit to Cambodia last November and my visit in Japan this time are a positive step to expand the relations between the 2 countries to the strategic relations, he said. Cambodia and Japan leaders spoke highly of the progress of both countries' relationship and agreed to upgrade it to the strategic level. After the bilateral summit, both leaders also witnessed the signing ceremony of 4 documents. The exchange of notes of the projects for improvement of the National Road No. 1, Sihanouk Provincial Referral Hospital, and the equipment for the restoration of the Western Causeway of Angkor Wat were signed by His Excellency Longrisar Lo, Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Cambodia, and Japanese Ambassador to Cambodia, His Excellency Yuichi Kumar Maru, while the Memorandum on Defense Cooperation and Exchanges between the Ministry of Defense of Japan and the Ministry of National Defense of Cambodia was inked by His Excellency Niang Pat, Cambodian Secretary of State for National Defense, and Japanese Ministers of Defense, His Excellency Itsunori Onodera. That's a wrap for this Monday's news. Thank you so much for your attention. Please always remember to keep your kid away from bird flu, never cause fire accidents, and always say no to drug. And please follow the traffic law, don't drink and drive. For today and tomorrow, no more traffic accidents. Please tune in again tomorrow at the same time for the latest news update. But for now, I'm Sukun Kakada. Good night.